Good morning, everyone. It's Joker, and today we are back with another slime video. And it is once again that time of the month to update the tier list, everybody's most favoritist video across all of YouTube for any type of content ever created by mankind. And it will have absolutely no repercussions or blowback, and everyone will agree with it 100%, as everyone does with tier lists. But we are here to add in the Warrior's Mind 2.0 meta and all of the units that came with it. It got skill fusions, got upgrades, blah 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 blah. So as a little reminder slash if you are new and you have no idea how these are organized, we have it done by the current 5-star EX and EX Unbound characters on this list. We have the Protectors, both free to play and summonable. We have only free to play battle units, and then we have the very, very old, like 5 stars from the beginning of the game, which some of them are relevant still, some of them are not. But also, in case you're wondering, these little icons here on all these characters. You see how we have two different Jeans? This Jean is you pulled her and there's nothing else to her. This little element thing right here is to indicate that she was EX Unbound. Like, she got an upgrade to the EX Unbound rarity after you fully dupe her to level 120 and all of that. So that is the difference between like a base Jean and a Unbound Jean, because she has the upgrade available to her. So a lot of these characters like Earth Mirren or Momiji or Hinata or the Summer Millum, they all have these icons here because they got upgrades. And then the second icon, the little rainbow colored one, is the skill fusion material. So this shows that a character was skill fused, and some characters might be in the same tier, even with the EX upgrade and the skill fusion. But some characters who only have a skill fusion, like this Shuna right here, she may have become better than her initial copy, which is no, she didn't get much better. But that's just what it means, is that they got a skill fusion, and in my opinion, it either makes them better, makes them worse, or keeps them about the same because they don't really do that much for you. But like Summer Lumi, base level, and then the skill fuse one, she did get better technically. So I pushed her up a tier. So that's what these icons mean. EX upgrade and then skill fusion, and it applies to all of the characters that are on this list in some way, shape, or form. But with that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. And we're going to start today on the Protector list. Shuna is actually like a really, really good Protector. She's changing all orbs to orange. If you're running a physical team, then you are really going to benefit from her Dread mechanic and the physical resistance down. Even if you're not running a physical team, like, she can still work because the debuffs will still care about the Dread effect. The physical resistance you won't get any benefit out of. But the fact that she can do it for half the game, and we have quite a few physical characters now, I'm actually going to put her up into Godly tier. She's doing more than what Emil's is doing, and she is much, much better than New Year's Shion is at this point. So I think she belongs up into the Godly tier. Full convert, plus the 2 rainbow orbs. All right, perfect. Free 30 skill points for the first 5 turns. Great. And then the debuff with the Dread, which enhances the power of debuffs, which there are some powerful debuffs, like crit resistance or synergy resistance or alt resistance down. The gamut of things you could do with the actual Warrior's Mind team, the Dread skill will enhance that. And then the 100% physical resistance damage means that your physical enemy or your physical people are just going to do double damage off the bat. So that is just so much power for me to consider her anything else but godly. Free to play training. We didn't do a showcase on her. Why? Because she's kind of just not great. You might have a differing opinion because you had to use her, but I'm not even going to attempt to do a showcase for her. I just don't like what she's bringing to the table, and it's just that. So you can argue with me on that one. I don't think really anyone can argue with me on Shuna. Never mind. I'm going to put her up in a meh. I mean, a 30% increase for physical damage, you know, for newer players is fine. She is at least better than some of these really bad ones down here. So we will correct myself. I will move her up into D tier instead. So 1 tier higher. All right, next are the free-to-play characters, which just started getting skill fusions. Now, this is huge, because look at this list of characters. I mean, these are still very good characters, and the fact that some of them, well, at least Triya, Rieger, Veldora, and Shizu have the potential to get skill fusions is great. I don't think they're going to give skill fusions to the super-duper old 4-star units, so I think Rimuru and Isis and Sufia and Eren, they're going to be kind of left out to hang. But we do have the new Warrior's Mind 2.0 Xion, who is unfortunately just a bit limited. She's only changing dark characters' soul of combos or alts to orange. There are more orange teams, granted, so that's cool, but being a single element does restrict her, and it's not her element, she's fire. And then her second skill gives oranges extra skill points, which, cool. But again, even though oranges are becoming more prevalent, there are a whole ton more green and blue teams, and I'm not going to bring this Xion on those teams for that skill. So limitations exist for her. But now we have the skill fusions for some of the oldest, free-to-play characters from the EX era, and that is free-to-play Gobta, Gabiru, and Xion. So Gobta's here, Gabiru is here, and Xion is in B tier. Okay, so we're just going to go really, really quickly. Gobta, I think, does not change. His buffs didn't really get any more encompassing. They just got slightly higher percentage increases, but it's still fairly limited, and I still think he's just a bad character all around. Gobta did get a little tiny bit better, because it changed his only blue orb skill point increase to all orbs, and there are places that you can use that. So I'm going to move him up into B tier, just a 1-tier bump, because, you know, while it's better, it's not huge. And then Xion, I mean, she's already in the B tier, which is okay. And now that she's stacking 15% crit damage to physical allies instead of 5, I actually kind of want to put her up into very good, because now she's a generic orange to blue converter, and she can give a stacking permanent 15, 30, 45, 60% crit damage buff to physical people. I actually think she's pretty good. Very much the better out of all of these three that are free that got skill fusions. Whether or not you agree with this, I'm willing to hear her going down to A tier, but I'm going to put her in S tier for now. I'll probably do her own showcase video sometime soonish, just to see how much power we do get out of her, and then maybe next month we determine if this is the correct spot for her. But I like her right here, right now at least. Alright, as far as the old 5-star characters, there are no EX units on here. We do have the skill fusions for Carrion and Ranga. While they also got EX upgrades, they don't have to be an EX unit to have their skill fusion. Ranga, his skill fusion does make him better. So let's find where he is he's down in F tier. Okay. So he went from giving like a 30% chance to pierce and guard penetration, which is just legitimately awful, to giving, I think, everybody pierce and then space attack. I think he's in C tier now. He's not super great, but he can do something for you at least now, more than what he could do all the way down here. And then Daggerel used to be a double orb stealing character, and then like a light debuffer or something. Like, that's not very good, but becoming a triple orb stealer does give him some viability in places where you would need that. So I'm actually going to move him up into B tier. He is the only base 5-star triple orb stealer in the game now that I think. Yeah, because everyone else changes orbs or they give away orbs. Most of the other triple orb stealers are EX characters now. So, like Shuna, Hinata, Masked Hero, Lumi, yeah. So, well, we'll move him to A tier. You do have to have quite a bit of investment into him because he does need to be level 100 full dupe in order to do it. But having a triple orb stealer that's an older character for rainbow shards that you probably have a lot of if you've been playing for a while because the game focuses on rain or EX shards now, I think he's fine. He's fine in A tier for now. Maybe you drop him down to B tier because of the investment needed, but he's definitely up there, and he's definitely a lot better than being a double orb orb stealer, because now you got half your orbs taken away to somebody else. And now, finally, we move into the EX characters and the characters that got their EX upgrades. So let's go ahead and get through those first. Daggerel, technically being an EX orb stealing character, means that he does have to exist next to the other triple orb stealers just by virtue. So Hinata, Shuna, Hero, Raphael, Lumi, now Daggerel. It does matter. Having a triple orb stealer is great. So this is assuming, of course, that he is EX Unbound and he is skill fused. He would exist up in the S tier with the other triple orb stealers. Because honestly, I don't really care about a second skill, but I also don't really care about Hinata's second skill or Shuna's second skill. I care about the hero's second skill, but most people probably don't. But they're all triple orb stealers, so he has to go up here. Jean. Just because she got an EX upgrade does not change the fact that I do not think that highly of her, because her skills are just blah. So she will just stay in the same tier. Rimuru, with his skill fusion and his EX upgrade, does it make him better? Technically, yes. Does it make him any less limited to use? Not really, because he's still only buffing Earth and Space characters. It's just now you get a bigger starter alt gauge rush increase. It starts at 50 instead of 20%, and he still has a single alt swap. So, I mean, I'm not too big on that. Guy is a good character. His EX upgrade did... Actually, hold on. Hold on. Okay, I had to remove his old icon. But in the last month, his skill fusion was just right next to him. And I still think that that's going to be where he's going to sit with his skill fusion and his EX upgrade. It's just, he's almost the same. I don't feel bad about that. I haven't skill fused him. He is EX upgraded for me just by virtue of me pulling unlimited number of dupes of him, but it doesn't change my fact of how I feel. And then we have Space Ranga, who, in now the EX level of units, he's kind of not super great. Guaranteed Pierce and Space Allies, 40% attack, is just not as powerful as what you would like it to be for an EX character. And it's pretty limited. One element for Space, and Pierce by itself is not very strong. So you live down here. But now let's get to the actual summonable units. And we're going to start off with Gobwa, who has the Pierce and the Pierce resistance down and all the debuffs. She is a fairly strong single target character, and she can help teams do a lot of damage. She does need to use quite a number of skills to get that debuff, to get the Pierce resistance, but if you do cap her out, she can help you do a lot of damage in stages that you want Pierce. And they're team-wide, because they're debuffs, essentially. And the Pierce is team-wide as well. So anybody can benefit off that. And I like units that can buff the entire team no matter who you are. So she's giving a lot more power than I think some of these other characters down here are doing, that are a lot less restricted. But, well, I mean, Reckoning is down here. You know what? S tier, A tier. S tier, A tier. DPS, element and resistance down. Pierce and Pierce resistance down. She's pretty cheap. No, I like her in Great tier, because both her skills are useful. All right, we'll leave her there for now, and we'll see how I feel later. Violet with the control and the ult resistance down, and the full rainbow convert for Primal Demon, Commander, and Schemer. I think she's fine. Obviously, you can make a lot of things happen with the full rainbow orb change. But she's a support ult. The control buff is still a little bit wonky. You could have some fun teams where you could get just ridiculous amounts of control stacks from her, and that could be interesting, but you really have to build around it. So I don't see it becoming like mainstay on every single team. Plus, you have to leave all the units up front, and I'm just never a fan of that. I like to be able to hold buffs and have them apply to everybody. So we're going to put her in good for now. I might drop her down to C later on, depending on how she turns out. But now we come to BLANC. literally doubling the damage of anybody in the game. And then on top of that, if you're dark, you're like EX dark, you're getting a lot of extra damage on top of that. Plus the straight up 70% gauge increase for oranges for 2 turns. And then if you're turn 2 or later, you get 40 skill points for free. And that could be applied to any team. Like, you don't need to be on an orange team to get 40 skill points. All teams can use extra skill points, especially when it costs nothing. So I can't see any other place but up in the triple S tier godly. Doubling the damage of every character across these entire lists. Physical and magic allies double the damage. And then if you're dark, even better. And then if you need points, you got them. And if you're running an orange team specifically, then she's pretty much a god. So, yeah, BLANC I think is going to be around for quite a while on a number of teams, both past, present, and future. So, that is my tier list. I will probably end up changing BLANC, or not BLANC, but Gobwa and Violet as we move forward. I do have one more edit to make, and that is the Divine General BLANC moving down. Moving down kind of far, actually. 150% alt damage is cool, but every team has alt damage, and then the triple alt swap is just kind of... it's for space only. I mainly use her for her trait, and that's about it. So, limited situational, yeah. Maybe you could put her in good instead, but I feel like that's also doing a disservice to a lot of other characters in here who are doing a lot more than her. So we're going to drop her down into C tier, and it hurts. But I did just put her back up into triple S, so I don't feel as bad about it. But let me know what you guys think of these ranks. Do you agree? How excited are you about the free-to-play skill fusions now being a thing? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, but that's it from me. Take it easy, and I will see you all later.